Okay, I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see the presentation. All right. And can everyone see that okay? Can you give me a thumbs up? All right, awesome, thank you. All right, so we are welcoming the class of 2034, and I figured out that I'm going to be really old by the time that rolls around. But we're very excited to have them start with us in September. So our tonight's agenda, I already welcomed and introduced everyone that will be presenting today, all the important people at Southlawn that will get your kindergartner ready to start. We're going to talk about PTSA with Jackie Anderson. Our kindergarten teachers will speak a lot about what kindergarten in West Irondequoit looks like and what you can do to get your kindergartner ready by the time they come to us in September between now and then. We'll show a quick snapshot of our first group of students that came to us when we first switched from half-day kindergarten to full-day kindergarten. So they did a nice little snapshot, and you'll get to see those students who are now in third grade talk about their first experience in a full-day kindergarten. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how to register your child for kindergarten. So medical information that we need and the registration process, along with what screening, kindergarten screening will be coming up, along with the first days of school. Okay, so first we're going to kick it off and talk about PTSA, so our Parent Teacher Student Association, and I will turn it over to Jackie to share about our program.
Fantastic. Hi, everybody, and welcome. And I was in your shoes not that long ago, so I know it's crazy time. And of course, we're in a weird time now, too. So many questions I'm sure you have. So I'll keep my part to a minimum as best I can. So Parent Teacher Student Association, we are a group of wonderful parents and teachers as well that are helping to support Southlawn in a variety of different ways. We do a lot of school events, and certainly this year has been very different, but we've tried our best to, help to roll with the punches. But in, a quote unquote normal year, we do a lot of school events. We have fundraisers that we do, including Leo's Pies, and we do a wonderful Niagara candy, which is the devil after winter time when we're all supposed to not be eating that much candy. So we do those as fundraisers to help out. One of the great things that we do is the first graders will get some of that fundraising goes to a Southlawn a t-shirt that they all get for getting into first grade. So they all get the same one, which is wonderful, and they get to wear it as a class together. And I know already we've had the classes get together and wear those t-shirts, and that's kind of a nice community for all of them to know they have that togetherness. We also do with that fundraising to help out with a third grade yearbook as well. So as they're leaving from Southlawn, sad, they move on with a nice yearbook to remember their time and being with us. We also, as I said, do a lot of different events in the school. We've done Halloween parties, ice cream socials. We've had movie nights. I know our first year of doing things with Southlawn, there was a bingo night, and I thought it was going to be me and a couple of parents, and it was the Rogers Gym filled with families and children and people in the community that were there doing bingo. And it was, like Smarties on a bingo card, and the kids had an awesome time. So it's really great to be able to see teachers attend it, students, families, older kids that are coming back. It's really, a great time. So we try and work with the classroom teachers also to also show our appreciation for them, but certainly support them in ways that they may need if they need certain things in the classroom. This year, we're actually doing a coat drive. A few teachers had brought up the fact that there are students that are not having winter gear when they're showing up, and it's not always because they don't have it. They could also just forget it. My daughter has worn somebody else's snow pants a couple of times this year, so it's nice to have that as an option. So if the kids do go outside and play, because they do go out if it's warmer than 20 degrees, we don't always think of that they're nice and prepared. So we're doing that now across the school and asking for people to make those donations. So I've been on it for the last 2 years. It's really a great time. We meet once a month, and when we can, we may come back into school, but I certainly like being able to have a PTSA meeting that's on a Zoom too. So, but we will do that once a month. And certainly if anybody's interested now, you're more than welcome to email and be involved in it, because we will start to think of things for the next school year, and you're certainly welcome to be involved in that. But, starting in September, we'll start announcing in our newsletter and on our Facebook page of when we'll start to have meetings. And if people would like to be involved, they can certainly be involved in any way. And there's no, there's no small parts, only small actors. There's no small parts in PTSA. Any part you want to do. And my husband has scooped ice cream, and I've watched dads hold doors. So it's any way that you can be involved in it is totally great. So we'd love to have anybody involved in it. So, and I'm hoping, I just forgot, I was looking at my notes. I hope next year we can have the carnival, Mrs. Santora. I'd really love to have that. So that would be exciting to have. But does anybody have any questions at all that I can answer for you? I know it's a lot.
Thank you, Jackie. I echo, I hope we get to have the carnival next year, along with lots of other things that we're missing out on this year that I sorely miss.
We are.
Yes. So again, PTSA, I cannot plug them enough. They do amazing, amazing things for our children, for our teachers, and really help to build that community here at Southlawn, especially between school and home. So thank you to Jackie and the rest of PTSA.
Thank you.
All right, so next we will be talking about, our kindergarten teachers will be talking about a typical day in kindergarten. I know that's kind of funny to say right now, but we will be looking at it from that lens in the hopes that next school year will be as normal as possible. So I will turn it over to them. They're going to talk about schedule and again, how to prepare your child for kindergarten.
So I can go ahead and get us started. I'm Megan Yates, by the way. I know you probably can't see because there's so many heads right now. But I'm going to just walk us through what a typical day looks like in kindergarten. And they are very busy days from start to finish with our full day kindergarten schedule. So when the kiddos come in, we have kind of a soft start model where the kids are able to take a lot of ownership. They might be working in a fine motor bin. They might be writing in their journals. They might be working on some of their social skills, having like a community speaking group, different things like that. So they really kind of come in and start the day really building that sense of community. And then we always gather after a few minutes for our morning meeting and our community meeting. And this is a time where each of the kids has a chance to share. We'll do a lot of our calendar procedures. We will ask questions and do a lot of different concepts there. And it just really gives the kids a chance to set up the day and share how they're feeling and just kind of start the day off on the right foot. So from our morning meeting, we then move into our reading part of the day. So we do readers workshop. So we will, we'll do some sound games. I'm sure you'll hear a lot of sound games next year coming home. Then we might read our story. We'll do our readers workshop. And in the beginning of the year, we're working a lot with solidifying our letters and our sounds, seeing how the sounds are all around us. And then as the year goes on, we'll move into reading our CVC words. And then by the end of the year, you'll see that the kiddos are able to kind of put together these different sounds and really starting to see themselves as readers and really have that sense of ownership and be proud. So you'll kind of see that as we go throughout the year. And then the great thing about our workshop is the kids are able to do lots of differentiated centers. This year, it's great. The kids are able to be one-to-one. So we use them a little bit in the classroom. We're still focusing a lot on really building, the face-to-face and the fine motor skills, but they're able to use their laptops, and they'll amaze you at what they can do with those. We'll do small groups where we're working on different skills, different reading groups, and we're able to kind of tailor it to the kids' interests and really make sure we ground what we're doing in that science of reading and really make sure that we're systematic and we're helping each of the kids to really succeed and grow. After readers workshop, there's always time for a snack, which is a favorite during the day. And then we would go into a writers workshop. And same thing with writing. Kindergarten is amazing. You'll see I know a lot of you have past portfolios where you see just how much growth there is. In the beginning of the year, we'll do a lot with handwriting. We'll do a lot with playing with Play-Doh and tweezers, different things like that to really build their hand muscles. And then as we start going, we'll move into, letter formation. We'll start stretching out sounds. And by the end of the year, they'll be putting together their heart words and their words that they're stretching out to write sentences. I can guarantee you'll probably get lots of persuasive notes about needing more recess or needing another dog. Those are always popular in kindergarten. So that is something that we'll do. And during, again, that workshop time, the kids are able to really take ownership. They choose their topics, and then they can kind of build that portfolio that they'll bring home to you at the end of the year. From a writer's workshop, that's when we would go into recess and lunch in the classroom. So the kiddos are with a recess and lunch monitor, and it's great because they're with one person all year, and that person, really gets to know them and build that relationship with them. We'll either be inside or outside on our beautiful new playground. And so they have a chance to be outside, and then they'll have a chance to come back in and do a lunch where they are able to eat and socialize. A lot of socializing in a kindergarten lunch, but it gives them a nice time in the day to build those skills. From lunch, our kids would then move into our math workshop. And our math workshop is structured very similar to reading, where, we'll work on a mini lesson where we'll do a skill together, and then the kids will be kind of off and be able to do a lot of hands-on different activities. They'll be building numbers and decomposing numbers, adding and subtracting, telling a lot of math stories, and a lot of it is all hands-on, and we try and ground it as much in student ownership, where they're really kind of deciding what it looks like and really taking those skills and running with it, so they can build their confidence as a mathematician, just like they are as a writer. And I know this is a long day, so you can imagine they're tired in September. After math is when we'll do our social studies and our science. And social studies and science in social studies, we're focusing a lot on, we start with who we are as a person, and then we really branch out in kindergarten. So then we'll talk about our class, our family, our community, and then we kind of move out to communities around the world. And we're really grounding a lot of that. We're doing a lot of work around social justice and making sure that the kiddos are aware of who they are as people and are able to kind of voice important matters and are aware of what's going on in a developmentally appropriate way. So we're really kind of embracing that as well. And then in science, we do everything from physics, which is always great when you hear them come home and talk to you about their, gravity and this, that, the other. We'll do plants, and then we do a lot with weather. So you'll see lots of different science experiments come home. Spread out throughout the day is where we kind of sprinkle in the other things that are listed there. So response to intervention in a typical year, what that looks like is we're able to bring all of the kids in the grade level together, and then we are able to sort them into very small groups so that they're able to be working on exactly what they need to. So some kids might be with Liz Lawson, our reading interventionist, working on solidifying a certain letter. Some kids might be with Mrs. Feniger, kind of doing a book study or doing some research. Others might be really solidifying their handwriting with another teacher. And that is very fluid throughout the year, but it just gives the kids a chance to, to work with different kids and to really solidify those skills in a small group and just get that extra, individualized attention. And then social skills are a big part of kindergarten. And I know Mrs. Feniger will talk more about that soon, but we do a lot with a lot of role playing. We talk a lot about, things like dealing with disappointment, what happens if I didn't get the Legos, different things like that. And we really work on building strategies so that when these situations come up, we're able to, each of the kids has a toolbox and is able to kind of work through those challenges. We'll do a lot again with the physical development. There's lots of dancing, there's lots of moving, hopefully next year even more than ever. And we do a lot of building our fine motor muscles and our gross motor muscles as well. So just lots of movement across the day. And then I know this is special. I know there's a couple of families who are still here for half day kindergarten. It's great that we do get all of the specials with full day kindergarten. So each day the kindergartners will either go to art, to music, to PE with Mr. T, who will be a very popular name in your house, or to library. So, and then at the end of the day, after those specials, is when we do a little bit of choice time. And again, we give the kids the chance to really, sometimes the kids are choosing to read books. Some are asking to, create a fairy tale or do different things. It's really just, again, a chance for them to collaborate, to use all those social skills and to kind of build that part of who they are as people. So it's a busy day. They'll definitely be tired, but it's always a fun day in kindergarten. So that's just kind of the gist of what it would look like.
Thanks, Meg. Yeah. All right. So preparing your child for kindergarten and thinking about school readiness. I'm thinking Julia's taking over.
I'm going to be speaking to you all about how to prepare your kiddos, your little ones, to come to Miss Yates and I. So We'll start honestly with the first slide of reading. Just read to your child daily before bed, anytime throughout the day, showing them the pictures. You can even, as you're tracking the words, have them track along with you, but honestly, just they enjoy the love of reading, the love of books. Miss Yates and I love doing read alouds. We love reading. So you will hear a multitude of different books from Miss Yates and I. Also just, of course, utilizing technology, the computer games, any type of card games, board games, as it says on the slide, just to promote reading. Have them maybe find letters in their name, which we'll go over in another slide. More things to work on to prepare your child is if you're out at Walmart, Wegmans, if you're out at the store, if you even see the stop sign, hey, what letter do you see here? Oh, I see an S, and maybe there's an S in your child's name. And then other games you can play is I Spy. I play this with my two daughters daily when I pick them up. I spy different letter sounds, or I spy something that begins with the letter J, and they have to look around and look for something that begins with the letter J, or maybe an I Spy game that rhymes with cat. So just different fun sound games that you can play at home. Another one is helping your child identify the letters in their name, just seeing if they recognize the letters in their name and they can find it maybe in their environment. As we already talked about rhyming, playing little rhyming games like cat, mat, bat, fun little games with songs. I love to sing. I cannot carry a tune at all. And it's very hard with COVID with our masks on. So we do a lot of, speaking type of songs, type of games throughout the day. But hopefully next year we'll be able to sing, Miss Yates and I, and have lots of fun. Also practicing with Ms. Yates, as mentioned in kindergarten, we use a lot of tweezers and different tools to help strengthen the kiddos' hands. So just using different mediums, meaning like using clay, have the kiddos strengthen their fingers, but also make letters, make numbers. I know we haven't gotten to math, but make letters with clay, with Play-Doh. There's still snow on the ground. Have them maybe make the letters of their name in the snow with their feet, or when springtime comes, make them make letters with rocks or with leaves or with sticks. So it's always a fun one. And Miss Yates and I know, love doing activities like this when we can take the kiddos outside. So when we go to math, there are so many opportunities to utilize math in our house. It could be counting objects out loud, counting how many maybe Cheerios you have in your bowl, pinching, you can always do those fine motor skills, pinching the Cheerios with your fingers and putting it in another bowl, and just counting one-to-one correspondence, counting out loud how many days there are in a month. Also trying to identify different shapes. What shape is your table? What shape do we see over on the TV? What shapes do you see? And naming the shapes. And of course, reading the numbers on a clock. You have all the digits on the clock, just reading, oh, look at, I see the line pointing to 1. Can you find the number 1 for me? Of course, we can always play some more I Spy games with numbers. And then counting backwards or forwards, meaning like do a fun little game of playing blast off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. Fun little games like that, just preparing your kiddos, for kindergarten. And then just now that was encouraging healthy habits, just, sticking to a schedule, sort of like, okay, today we're gonna, just talking to your kiddo, today we're gonna get up, we're gonna have breakfast first, and then we're going to maybe go to the store. Just like stick to the schedule, because that's what Miss Yates and I do. Every day we have a set schedule and we do the same thing every day, because routine is key. Learning to listen and follow the 1 to 2 step directions. We work on this all the time in kindergarten. So just, we always will, Miss Yates and I will always say, oh, make sure our listening ears are on, and we'll give them 1 or 2 step directions verbally, and, just see if they can follow those directions at home. Of course, doing simple chores of, they'll be responsible for a lot of things in kindergarten, of maybe hanging up their coat, putting their book bag away, taking out their lunchbox. There's a lot of big responsibilities. So just get them used to what chores are. Okay, your coat gets hung up here. You're gonna have to do this when you go into Miss Yates' room, or you gotta take out your snack for snack time. Get them used to those type of skills or that type of language before they get to kindergarten. And of course, this is the big one, getting along with others, losing a game and taking turns, just playing those little board games. We play lots of games in kindergarten, and it's a part of that social emotional piece, but it's hard when we play Candyland, or if we play Connect 4 and we lose the game. and just, shaking that friend's hand and say, that's okay. Great game. Maybe next time I'll win. Just getting used to, it's okay. Sometimes we just don't win, but to be proud of that friend that, maybe won. And of course, problem solving, trying to, if we're upset, getting like those nice breathing strategies, coping strategies, talking to your child, it's okay. Miss Yates and I always talk about that sometimes we are upset, sometimes we're angry or we're sad, and we'll use breathing strategies. We can tuck into our little turtle shell and they'll learn all of these strategies from us and Mrs. Guetti, our guidance counselor. So those are, as I said, great strategies to practice at home. And more things, of course, talk to your child daily. Miss Yates and I will always speak in complete sentences, but it's tell them about everything you see or what's going on if you're driving down the street. Oh my goodness, did you see that fire truck that just drove by? Talk to your children. And also, as it says, expand your child's vocabulary, just honestly about what's out in the world. What do you see outside? What's going on? Of course, making eye contact, and we just always work on our rules. So you'll hear a lot of eyes on teacher, ears are listening, lips are zipped, raising a quiet hand. And those are, Miss Yates and I always utilize the language of like whole body listening. So calm body, heart's ready to learn, brain's ready to think. So you'll hear lots of those words in kindergarten. But I gave you a long laundry list of things to practice, but I know Miss Yates and I are so excited to meet all the little kiddos. If Miss Yates, I forgot anything, please add anything else. Okay, well, thanks guys for listening.
I have myself muted. Thank you, Meg and Julie, for sharing a little bit about kindergarten. The next piece to our presentation is actually from our local celebrities themselves, our kindergartners from 4 years ago. They will be sharing from their experience what kindergarten is like for them.
Be brave, don't be scared anymore, because you, in preschool you are really good. You're going to be good in kindergarten too. Kindergarten is fun. Sometimes we I like to have fun and read and draw pictures and be active and sing. We go to Hello Nature Center because you get to listen to all your teachers, and it's really fun that your teachers always listen to you. And they're really, really, really kind to you. I've learned spelling. We learn about telling time. We learn about numbers, number equations. Learn how to read books. We have been learning about lots and lots of things. I like when we have PE because it's active and it's fun. The best part about kindergarten is playtime, because I like to play a lot with my friends a lot. Oh, I get to have special visitors, and we learn stuff every day. We have recess, we have lunch, we have relax and learn, and sometimes we have a special activity. Always be nice. Be brave. Help others. Have fun and play with some friends. Yep. Now I know all about kindergarten.
So that was from our little ones. So hopefully seeing that you get to see, you heard from the teachers, but hopefully you got to see a little glimpse of what inside of our kindergarten classrooms look like. And really, we are just looking for our little ones to come in, learn some school readiness and have fun. So that is really our goal when they start school, for them to feel comfortable, build confidence, be able to socialize with their peers and learn. The next piece we are going to dig into is the nitty-gritty logistics of getting your child registered for kindergarten. So what to do next? The first part is about medical information that school needs to know so that we can keep your child safe if they have allergies or asthma, or if there's certain medical information that you feel is important for us to know as they join school. So you'll hear a recording from one of our school nurses that will talk through things that is important to share with us and how to fill out the form.
Hello, I'm Luna Cornell, RN. On behalf of the West Arundecoy School District K-3 health offices, I would like to welcome this coming year's kindergarten families. I am going to discuss information that you will need prior to your child beginning kindergarten. You may have already filled out a kindergarten registration packet on the district website, but if you need assistance, please contact the district's registration office at 585-336-6743 or your child's home school. In the registration packet, you will find many forms, but I'm going to talk about the forms specifically needed for the health office. Number 1, health and development. This form reviews your child's health history from birth to present. We would like to know things that could possibly affect your child's day at school. Just think, what would I want staff to know about my child? Such as sleep habits, bowel and bladder habits, stage of potty training, or special eating habits. Please feel free to add anything not mentioned on the form. Number 2, confidential student health information update. This form allows specific health information that you would want shared with staff members that may interact with your child during the school day, such as life-threatening allergies, asthma, seizures, or diabetes. Sharing this information allows staff to know what symptoms to look for. A new one of these forms needs to be filled out every school year. Number 3, disclosure of protected health information, also known as the HIPAA form. This form gives staff permission to give and receive health information with your child's healthcare professional, such as physicals and medication orders. A new one of these forms needs to be filled out every school year. Physical and health assessment. Although a blank physical form is included, your child's doctor will document the physical electronically. You can ask for a copy or ask that it be faxed to your child's home school. An up-to-date physical is required by New York State mandate to begin kindergarten. The physical is acceptable if it is dated up to but not beyond 1 year prior to the first day of school in September. So if school begins on September 3rd this year, the physical can be dated as far back as September 3rd of last year. Number 5, the dental certificate. Although not mandated by New York State, our hope is that your child has seen a dentist by the time they enter kindergarten. When they do, have the dentist complete this form and return it to the school. Number 6, immunizations. You will find a form explaining what New York State mandated immunizations your child needs to have received at age 5 to start school. Most pediatricians will not do their 5-year physical and immunizations until they've had their 5th birthday. If your child turns 5 after the start of school, they may start school, but they would have 14 days after their 5th birthday to complete their immunizations. The most common vaccines due at that age are the 5th DTaP, the 2nd MMR, and the 2nd varicella. Your child is on a catch-up schedule with the pediatrician, then the health office would need documentation from the doctor with the catch-up plan and your child's appointment dates. Please note that the completed physicals and immunizations are required for fully remote learners as well. The same rules apply even though they don't physically attend school. Some other additional important information. If your child will need to take medication while at school, an adult will need to bring the medication to the health office when school starts. It needs to be in the original container, and we will need a doctor's order either brought by the adult or the doctor's office can fax it to the health office. Please note that students may not bring medication to school themselves for safety reasons. You will receive additional information in the mail over the summer, which may include a form called Permission to Administer Over-the-Counter Meds. This allows the health office to administer stock non-prescription medications such as calamine lotion for itches, Vaseline or Blistex for chapped lips, and saline solution or eye wash for flushing the eyes for something like an eyelash. Also, if brought in from home, the health office can administer sunscreen and cough drops. You should plan on your child going outside for recess on any day that the temperature and wind chill is above 20 degrees and it is not raining. Please ensure that your child comes to school with the appropriate footwear and outdoor clothing. Also, it is not unusual for some kindergartners to have unexpected accidents at school. Having a change of clothing to be kept in their backpack or cubby is very helpful. Lastly, it is very important that staff at the school can contact families when needed. Please use the parent portal to update any contact person's names and phone numbers. Remember to do this, especially if someone gets a new phone number. If you need more information about the parent portal, please contact the building secretary at your child's home school. We look forward to meeting the next kindergartners and their families and teaming with them to create a safe and healthy environment to learn and grow. Thank you.
Okay, so on top of the pieces that we need for your child's medical records to keep at school, other pieces that you will need when you go to register your child are on this paper here. Once this presentation is done, I will show you how to access the online registration paperwork from our website. So there's a 2-page registration form that you will return to district office with all of the completed materials, with a copy of your child's birth certificate and a copy of their completed immunizations by April 1st. You'll hear April 1st as a deadline as we go through this. You're going to be able to call this phone number that will get you in contact with our registrar's office to set up an appointment to hand in all of your paperwork. And like Lana said on the message, immunizations must be up to date by the time school begins. You'll complete the health and developmental history form and return that with the 2-page registration form. You'll schedule a physical for your child and return the form to the nurse before the first day of school. You'll complete a transportation request form only if your child is not going to be transported from your home residence to or from school. And that can be returned either to our school or the district office by April 1st. Any additional information you feel is needed for placement will be in writing by May 1st to me, and requests for specific teachers will not be honored. And there's no guarantee that a placement request may be honored, but we do look at those and take into your consideration when we are making those placements. And number 6, I think, is actually the most important, is to really talk positively about school, because the more positively you speak about it, the more excited they are to join us in September. Show them that learning is fun and let us know how your child is doing. All right, and the next piece is kindergarten screening. So I'll talk about what we typically do, and then we will send out information right after April 1st, that registration deadline on how we will accomplish our screening with COVID regulations. So typically we would have families sign up for a time slot. It's usually about 45 minutes to an hour. And they will go to different stations and we will just see where they are academically. We'll listen to their speech and language abilities. We check out their fine motor skills, their gross motor skills. And then we take into consideration all of those pieces, and maybe we might recommend that they start with some speech services in the beginning of the school year, or that our occupational therapist works with them. So that screening does not determine whether or not your child will start kindergarten. That just gives us a good idea of what your child is coming to us with and what they might need, so we can start them off right away with any extra support that they might need. So typically we've done that in a larger group where children will come in, I think 4 or 5 at a time. So we're going to have to think through how to do that with COVID regulations. So we're working on that right now, and more information about how that screening process will work will come out after registration, so after April 1st. And then, like I said on the last slide, transportation. We only transport on our buses within West Irondequoit boundary. So we can transport your child to and from anywhere within our boundary. So if you are sending them to a daycare like Sunshine, or any of the ones that are within our West Irondequoit boundary, we will be able to transport them. But if they are outside of the boundary, we will not be able to. That's something to keep in mind when you fill out that transportation form. So breakfast and lunch and milk are available for all of our students every day. You can either, we utilize a My School Buck, so you can go log in and put money on your child's account, so you don't need to bring money to school and worry about them losing it or what happened to it. And you can just update that, and they will deduct the funds from that account. In a typical year, we eat in the APR, which is our really big room. It stands for all-purpose room. So the kids would typically eat lunch in there. They have PE in there. Our kindergarten friends have art in there usually. This school year, they are eating in their classrooms because they're staying in those little pods, but typically they do all go to the APR. They do have the kindergarten teacher assistant that goes with them, along with their lunch monitor, to help them build those independent habits of how to open their own packages, how to encourage them to keep eating, because Miss Yates and Mrs. Fenneker said they do enjoy their socialization at that time, but we want to make sure they do have time to eat and then throw away their garbage at the end. Free and reduced lunch form will be in that packet as well to fill out, and if your family does qualify, that does need to be completed every year. All right, so the first days of school, the actual calendar dates are coming out very soon. Kindergartners start right along with the rest of the students, so K through 12 have the same first day of school date. We are, Southlawn is a South End school, so we have 6 K3 buildings within our district. We have 3 North End schools that typically start from 8:30 to 2:30. And our 3 South End schools, so Briarwood, Brookview, and Southlawn, are all on the same schedule. In our typical school year, we're from 9:05 to 3:05. Okay, we threw a lot of information at you. I'm going to escape out of the PowerPoint slide. I'm going to show you how to access the paperwork. If you're like, I don't know where to find this, how come I didn't get this in the mail? No worries, it is all online. So if you go to our homepage, and it's actually really easy to find. So if you go to West Irondequoit or westirondequoit.org, and it's on the very front page, you scroll down and there's a button right here that says kindergarten registration. And it will take you to this page here, and it will include all of the pieces that we just talked about today. I am recording this right now, so that link, if you're like, what did Mrs. Santora say about that? You can go and fast forward through to find out what information that you want. That will also be uploaded here by March 5th, which I think is Friday. And as you scroll down, it'll say click here for the entire registration packet. And that will bring you to this site here. So you can It'll have everything that we just went over, what you need to bring, what phone numbers you need to call, who you're going to speak to when you register your child. Residency requirements, you'll need to bring some information for that. And the entire packet is in a nice PDF form all right here. So if you're not sure or you're worried you didn't receive the packet, it is all online for you. If you need any help with this, our district office is assisting families with registration on Tuesday, March 9th. So if you do want some help walking through this, you can reach out to district office and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. I'm a little nervous. Can you walk me through that? We absolutely will help you. So do not panic. All right, so now that you know a little bit about kindergarten, what you need to register your child, how can we answer any questions for you? I will turn it over to you.
Hi, we were just wondering what the average class sizes are.
Yeah, so in a regular school year, we are around 20 to 24. Some years at Southlawn, we sometimes have larger numbers of a class, so we'll need to split into 3 sections. And when that happens, we're usually around 18 kids because there's now 3 sections. So in that realm, right now, we're much smaller because of our cohorting, and we can only fit so many students in a class 6 feet apart. So I think, Meg, you have the largest with 16, correct?
Mhm.
Yes, so we're one group is 16, one's 15, and one is in a smaller room that can only fit 13. So that's the sizes currently. Great question. I'm sure other people had the same one.
Could you go over just like how the integrated classrooms work? As it looks like my daughter, she's going to be doing an integrated classroom, and I know they said that Southlawn would be, I guess it would be her district, or for her, like for the class.
Okay, if they're doing, so the ICT classrooms, that's our integrated co-taught, we like to abbreviate everything in education, is typically not at Southlawn because we do house all of our self-contained classrooms at Southlawn. So it depends on enrollment where that ICT class would be held. And an ICT classroom is different in that there is a general education teacher, so a Meg or a Julie, along with a special education teacher that would be right in the classroom all day with those children, along with a teacher assistant and sometimes even 2, depending on the makeup of the students and the number of students that require special education services in that classroom. So that's how it would look different. There would be way more adults in the classroom to help support those students that have special needs.
So as far as her registration forms, do I just put Southlawn on there, or how does that work?
Yes, you can definitely put Southlawn for right now. And as we go through CSEs and when we decide where the ICT will be held for next school year, any of that paperwork will be shifted over to that school.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you end up at Southlawn, you're still in excellent hands.
I have a quick question about the wraparound care.
Yeah.
It's at Irondequoit High School, right?
It is not. No, our wraparound care for our south end of the school school is actually typically at Southlawn. So it's between Southlawn and Rogers. Right now, because of COVID, it's on the other side of Sunshine Daycare. So it's actually attached to Sunshine on the other end of it. If there's also a north end wraparound care that is at Iroquois. So they're housed at our younger schools than the high school.
Okay.
To add for the wraparound, what are the hours for wraparound?
That is an excellent question. I know that they go to 6, I want to say. Melissa, do you know? Oh, you're muted. You're still muted, Melissa. I'm just asking you to unmute. There you go. Perfect.
So I do know that you have to pick your children up by 6 o'clock, and I believe it starts at 7 in the morning.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
I have another question. So if we have kids and one's in an integrated classroom and the other's not, what are the chances that they're going to be at separate schools?
Parents can put in a request to have them at the same school if they'd like, and we try to accommodate that as much as possible, because we know that's difficult for families of twins to have one at one school and one at the other.
Thank you.
Great question.
Can you speak to how it looks if your child is receiving services in preschool and what that looks like for kindergarten?
Sure. If your child is receiving services in preschool, whether it be speech or occupational therapy or physical therapy, they would have a CPSE IEP. And you're probably in touch with a caseworker right now, because we're going through that process where we have assigned every child that has an IEP in preschool with a caseworker that would be that communication to see what they would potentially need for kindergarten if they would qualify for services. So I believe tomorrow we're having a bunch of CPSE CSEs. So that's where you would go and talk about their progress in their preschool services, if they would continue on with those services with just building-based services. So a lot of times a child might be receiving just speech services, and we wouldn't recommend them to continue on with an IEP, because we can service those speech services right at the building level. Or it might be decided that, we really think this child needs extra support when they move into kindergarten. So we're going to refer them on to school age CSE. And at that committee, which the parent would absolutely be a part of, they would decide, yes, this child does qualify for special education services, and this is what services they need, along with what type of special education program, whether it be the integrated co-taught that we already spoke about, or our self-contained classes to best support and meet the needs of that child. So it's definitely a long process, and it started back in January. So we're right at that CPSE meeting type of date, and then any children that move on that we want to look at for potential school age services, we start to see them around April and May. So all those will be decided way before September rolls around. Does that answer your question okay? Or can I clarify anything?
Yeah, no, we did meet with a caseworker, and she was telling us about the different like push in and pull out opportunities and stuff like that. So I just didn't know, I didn't know if there was any more details really with that and what it looks like in the actual classroom.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So if they needed some support in, let's say, speech therapy, there's options for speech therapists to pull a child out of the classroom in a small group setting, or the speech therapist might push in and help them with like transfer of skills. It depends on what the goal is for that child with their speech. And the same thing with occupational therapy and physical therapy. If they are in need of special education services, that would be a program. So either an ICT or a self-contained, and again, that there would be a special education teacher tied to that class and those students to help work on their academic goals. I see little ones' heads popping in. It makes me happy.
Hi, guys.
Anything else from anyone? Melissa is putting in the chat function any information about the extension program for more information. Make sure there was some people put some questions in. Hi, Mrs. Tuff. In teacher time, we call this wait time.
Can I add a comment? I don't have a question.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say you guys do such an amazing job with the kids. My now third grader was in Mrs. Yates' kindergarten class. He absolutely loves her. He loved learning to read, and now he's doing like all this crazy, exciting stuff. He's like a scientist now, and so I just want to say you guys do such an amazing job with kids and getting them to explore and to learn and to be excited about learning. And then Ms. Santora, I absolutely love that chair and that curtain, and I need to know where you got it from.
Thank you. This is my COVID office. Thank you so much for the compliments. That definitely goes to our amazing teachers at Southlawn. They do such an amazing, like you said, a great job of starting them very young at kindergarten, getting them to love learning and be curious and ask questions and be excited to come to school. I can't tell you how many kids, now that we don't come to school in person on Wednesdays, they used to leave us on Fridays sad that it was the weekend, but now they leave us sad on Tuesdays and Fridays. And that's all due to our great teachers at Southlawn. Well, thank you, everyone. Like I said earlier, you are not alone. If you have any questions, you can always call Southlawn. I'd be happy to walk you through anything. Mrs. Vella is always amazing. She helps out anyone that needs it, and you're not alone. We can walk you through anything that you need to make sure that your child is ready for September, okay? All right, well, I can't wait to see your kids in September. Thank you for coming. I'm gonna stay on in case anyone has a question at the end, so I'll be the last one to log off, okay? You have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, Miss Yates.
Hi, TJ. How are you?
Good.
Good. Oh my gosh. Are you loving third grade? Yeah. What science have you been working on?
Weather and climate.
Climate. Whoa.
Fancy word.
Oh, I know. Geez, we're doing weather in kindergarten. I'm gonna have to have you. You'll zoom in and teach us some things. Does that sound good? Yeah. We'll see if we can make that happen. Okay, bud.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Oh, geez. It's so good to see you, bud.
I'm so excited for my little brother to come to kindergarten and then be school with me.
That'll be so fun. I know. He'll be lucky to have you at Rogers, huh? Yeah.
I was about to say we could have lunch together, but I just realized that I'm going to Rogers.
But you know what? You'll get to see him in that main hallway, so you'll still get to pass him. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, bye.
Bye.
I might have missed it. I came in a little late. Is there a deadline that we know of if we want to keep the kids at home on remote?
So for next year, we're not sure if there will be a remote option or what school will look like. We're
that's about lunch. Can they bring lunch?
For the state regulations to come out. They're supposed to come out any day now because the federal CDC guidelines just came out. So we're still building that machine right now.
Okay, so we don't know. Okay.
Yep, that's
right.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Miss Yates, nice to see you. Bye.
Grace, hi. I have her
I
letter.
will. She saw you. Bye. Thank you.
Hi, we were just wondering what your if you'd like to keep twins together or separate them.
We totally leave that up to the families. So any families of twins, we ask mom and dad or guardians, what would you like children? Because that's a big decision, and you guys know what we do.
Okay, and then what about lunches? Because obviously they can pay for lunch, but do most people pack lunches or snacks, or how does that work?
They do snacks every day, and I'd say it's almost 50-50, right? Bringers and buyers.
Other than pizza day, yep.
Pizza day.
Other than pizza day.
Well, that makes sense. That's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I think that's it. Well, thank you guys for staying and for coming and answering questions. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Have a great night.